How's it going, my friends? Today I'm going to show you our best performing low budget strategy for Facebook advertising, specifically those of you looking to generate more inquiries or leads. So those of you who run Shopify stores, e-commerce owners, or starting up those kind of brands, this video probably isn't for you, but hey, watch along. You might be able to refer it to some friends and families who want more leads, right? Now, this particular strategy, full disclaimer, it's not going to work for everyone. Just because I give you the keys to the car doesn't mean you're going to drive it the same way that I do, which is, I believe, is fair. So, take this as a strategy to try yourself. If it doesn't work, by all means, book a call with myself or one of the team, or check out our Facebook Hackers membership, which is a great membership, very, very affordably priced, to be able to show you how to do this stuff and get some support from myself and the team one-on-one. Now, getting right into the video, we're going to set up a lead generation campaign. I have a whole nother video on lead generation, so if you want to know the intricacies of how to set that up, let me know and I'll send you the link to that. But I'm going to breeze through this relatively quickly so we can get to the actual low budget strategy. Okay. Now, when we set up a campaign, we're clicking create, and then we're going to lead generation. Now, after lead generation, we're going to click campaign budget optimization. We're going to select that on, and we're going to change our daily budget from daily budget to lifetime budget. Now, if you can't spend at least $10 per day over the next 4 days when running and testing these different Facebook ads, I wouldn't even bother testing or running ads on Facebook. And that's not for the reasons that you might think. There's a common misconception that I need to spend more money and need to be more competitive, beat out other people in the algorithm and show higher in the newsfeed, blah, 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 blah. And while that to a certain degree may be true, but the majority of the time of what I'm asking people to spend at least $10 per day is so that you can get enough data, so that you can get enough clicks, so that you can get enough people getting impressions on your ads, getting enough, leads, all of that kind of stuff, so that when you get to the end of those 4 days, you've gotten a few leads. And if you haven't got a few leads, at least you've got enough preliminary data of statistical significance to make your next move. That's why you need to be spending at least $10 per day. So essentially, with one particular test here, you're spending $40 over the next 4 days, which I think is definitely affordable. And we're going to use the lifetime budget for that. So what we would do is we would change that to 40. And now we're at the ad set level. So the next button I'd have you select is Dynamic Creative. I've got a whole nother video on that as well. And that's going to show you exactly what Dynamic Creative is, but we're going to breeze through this fairly quickly, as I mentioned. We go down, you'd select your targeting, placements if needed. And what we would do is we would change our dates to the next 4 days. So it's the 21st of September 2020. We're going to end it on the 25th, just to be safe. So I know that's 4 and a bit days. And away we go. What will happen is we're saying to Facebook, hey, we've got $40. It's going to try and spend that in a way that paces it a little bit differently. It's going to try and spend that through different segments, different parts of the day to try and get you the most leads, which paces it a little bit differently to, say, using a daily budget, because Facebook thinks that, or the algorithm thinks that, you've got $10 a day to spend indefinitely. So, results can kind of vary. Your placement in the auction, all of that kind of stuff can vary as well. So I found that this is a really cheap way to test things out very quickly. Then we go continue, and you would set up your ad. I'm not going to go through the setup of an ad. I've got another video on that. Let me know if you want that. That's more so around the dynamic creative video that I mentioned before. And we're going to go through to the ad set level, which is where I'm going to show you how we duplicate and test different audiences. Now, you don't have to do this, but if you find that you've got certain avatars that you want to test, again, I've got videos on avatars, what they are and how they can boost your business. So ask me for that as well. But if you've got different avatars or audiences that you want to test, then what you'd simply do is duplicate this ad set as many times as needed to test different audiences, but I would limit it to a maximum of 3, because then your budget of $10 is going to get spread across those ad sets very, very quickly, which you don't want too much of. So maximum of 3. Otherwise, you can leave it as 1. And then if you've watched my video on Dynamic Creative, if you understand Dynamic Creative, you know that on the ad level, Facebook has all of your assets to be able to test, near infinite amount of ad combinations. So you're not just running one ad, which is very important. So the next thing I want to show you is what's going to happen after 4 days. You've spent your $40, you've gotten a few leads, or even if you haven't got a few leads, what would you look at to discern some data of statistical significance? That's what I'm going to show you now. So what you would do, I'm just going to use, let's use these top 3 campaigns that have been running for a while here. You're going to go to columns and then go to performance and clicks, and then move your bar all the way to the right so you can see some of these statistics, some of these metrics, I should say. The first thing I would look at is your link click-through rate. Now, my ads here aren't a great example because, they're fairly high and link click-through rate's fairly low, below what I'd recommend. But on the other side of this, these are an exception because we're getting an insane amount of leads for a very, very sustainable lead cost, and people are booking calls and we're able to generate business, which is great. So as a link click-through rate, as an average, you'd want that at least over 1.2%, at least. Ideally over 1.5, and if you're over 2, great, you've got a perfect market fit. And that's for using a lead generation campaign, nothing else. You'd find that if any of you have used a traffic campaign for landing page views, just a side note, that your link click-through rate can be super high, but you're driving traffic. You're not actually driving anything that's going to convert or anything that's going to generate a lead for the most part. So write this one down. You'd want your link click-through rate over 1.2%. You'd want your cost per link click around $1.20, $1.50, about $2 max. You would want your cost per 1,000 impressions between $12 to $15, and that's what it's costing you to get 1,000 views of your ad. So just so you understand what that is, there's a difference between reach and impressions. Reach is the amount of people you've reached. So if myself and my mum saw your ad, it's 2 people reached. But it's between myself and my mum. If my mum saw it twice and I saw it once, that's 3 impressions. Okay. Now, you want your cost per 1,000 impressions between $12 to $15, and that's a fairly standard average for most industries. But those are the 3 metrics that you want to look at after those 4 days, other than leads. You're going to find that you're not going to get many leads within those 4 days. You'd be lucky to get, I would say, depending on your industry, of course, and what you're selling, I guess you'd be lucky to get about 8 to a day in those 4 days in full transparency. But these are preliminary metrics that can show you what ad variations are working best, what ad sets are working best, and ideally, where you could start to make some validated decisions, validated, not assumptions or perceptions, but validated decisions about what ad variations can work best for you and what audiences can work best for you as well. So look, I hope this video has been of use to you and value to you. Let me know if it has, of course. If you want some information about how to get some further help with this stuff one-on-one for myself and the team, and you're just in kind of the startup phase, a new business owner or anything like that, trying to generate leads, have a look at our Facebook Hackers membership. It's very, very affordably priced for anyone that's looking to learn this stuff at a very affordable level. So check that one out. Otherwise, have a great day. See you later.